Hey guys, it is Sophia, the diabetic vlogger. Hey guys, it is Sophia the Shadow Hunter, and today I'm going to be doing my November 2019 TBR. I know this is already the 5th day of the month, and I kept on meaning to film it, although I wasn't exactly sure what I was going to read. I did make my TBR earlier, probably about a month, sometime midway through last month, and then I decided to add some other books to it, and then some else I wanted to read I do not get a hold of, and just with being sick and everything, and busyness in life, it's been difficult. So today I'm going to be showing you the books I plan to read in the month of November. Please let me know in the comments down below what you guys want to read. I am still behind on my reading schedule. My Goodreads says I need to read 3 books a week to meet my schedule, which is pretty much normally what I read anyway, so it's not going to be hard, except last week I did not read 3 books, so that's why I want to try to next 3 weeks try to get on top of that, read a little bit faster, so if during the holidays I don't get to read as much, I can still be on track. So let's get started. The first book I read this month, which I started reading last month, which Dances of Thieves by Mary E. Pearson. This was a very interesting book. I got this in uppercase about a year ago when they had a sale. It was like 15 bucks for the bag of stuff and all the goodies. Like, you can't beat that. So let me read you what it says. If you guys have read this book, please leave your comments down below. And I also will be posting a review of this book soon. A stunning new adventure set in the kingdoms of the Remnant, a formidable outlaw family that claims to be the first among nations, a son destined to lead, thrust suddenly into power. 3 fierce young women of the Rayton, the Queen's premier guard, a legendary street thief, leading a mission determined to prove herself, a dark secret that is a threat to the entire continent. When that outlaw leader meets reformed thief, a cat and mouse game of false moves ensues, bringing them intimately together in a battle that may cost them their lives and their hearts. So this book was very different from I don't normally read a lot. I hardly read young adult books anymore, very few, and especially not young adult fantasy. But I really enjoyed it, surprisingly, and I want to read her other series, and I want to continue reading this, which is a duology. Next, I want to read Castles Burning: A Child's Life and More by Magna Danes. I've had this for, I think, probably about 1.5 to 2 years, and I need to read it. It's been on my to-read list, and I need to get finished on my TBR. It says, I begged and often my brother obliged in the dark of the night when I couldn't sleep. Ivan told me fairy tales in a whisper. All the stories began in the traditional Hungarian manner. Once there was, once there wasn't. There was once a castle entwirled in the foot of a duck. There are few figures in literature as riveting as the precious 9-year-old Magna Danes who narrates the story. Her stubborn self-command and irrepressible awareness of the absurd make her, in her mother's eyes, impossibly sarcastic, big-mouthed, insolent, and far too smart for her own good. When her family goes into hiding from the fascist arrow cross, she is torn from the castle of intimacy shared with her adoring older brother, and plunged into a world of incomprehensible deprivation, separation, and loss. Her age and her ability to feel devastating sorrow and still insist on life, for which every reader at the core. Recounting Odyssey through the wreckage and homelessness of post-war Europe, Castles Burning embodies a powerful personality, a stunning gift for prose and storytelling, and a remarkable sense of humor and true emotional wisdom that makes a magnificent contribution to the literature of childhood and war. This book sounds amazing. I can't wait to read it. Next book, which I'm currently reading, is The Gunslinger by Stephen King, The Dark Tower #1. I have been wanting to read Stephen King, and I've had this book for a while, so why not pick it up? I found in the mood for some Stephen King, and this is interesting. I'm about halfway through it. We'll see how quickly I can get through it. It says, in the first book of this brilliant series, now expanded and revised by the author, Stephen King introduces readers to one of the most enigmatic heroes, Roland of Gilead, the last gunslinger. He is a haunting figure, a loner, a spellbinding journey into good and evil in his desolate world which frightening mirrors our own. Ron pursues the man in black, encounters an alluring woman named Alice, and begins a friendship with a boy from New York called Jake. Both grippingly realistic and eerily dreamlike, The Gunslinger leaves readers eagerly waiting the next chapter. Set in the world of extraordinary circumstances filled with stunning visual imagery and unforgettable characters, the Dark Tower series is unlike anything you've ever read. Here is Stephen King's most visionary piece of storytelling, a magical mix of fantasy and horror that may well be his crowning achievement. So you'll see, and I'll do my review of this once I finish this. Next off, I have Adrenalize, Life, Def Leppard, and Beyond by Phil Collen and Chris Epting. I've been wanting to read this book for about a year now, and I finally got it about 2 months ago, and I'm so excited to read it. It says a revelatory and redemptive memoir from the lead guitarist of the legendary rock band Def Leppard, the first book ever written by one of its members, chronicling the band's extraordinary rise to stardom and how they maintained it for 3 decades. Meet Phil Collen. You may know him as lead guitarist in Def Leppard, whose signature song, Pour Some Sugar on Me, is still widely enjoyed as when it came out in 1988. Maybe you've heard one of him as the rock star who gave up alcohol and meat nearly 3 decades ago. Most likely you've seen him shirtless in photos or in real life, flaunting his impeccable toned body to appreciative female fans. But it wasn't always like this. Colin worked his way up from nothing, teaching himself guitar from scratch as a teenager by imitating his heroes. He slogged out in London-based pub bands for years, long before Def Leppard formed and transformed from unknown to icons, all thanks to the little album called Pyromania. From playing openers in empty arenas to headlining in those same stadiums and selling them out every night. But as Colin discovered, overnight success is a myth. Like the other band members, he had to struggle and fight his way to the top. In the end, he says, our work ethic saved us, just as it still does. This is Colin's story, starting with his first real taste of success, the wild rock and roll success as a member of the seminal glam rock outfit Girl. But once he joins Def Leppard, it's also an amazing underdog tale featuring a bunch of ordinary working class lads who rose to mega stardom, overcoming incredible obstacles such as John Rick Allen losing his arm in a car crash and the tragic death of the guitarist Steve Clark, Phil's musical soulmate who lost his fight with alcoholism. Featuring personal, never-seen-before photos of Colin and his bandmates on the stage and off, Adrenalize is a fascinating account of the failures, triumphs, challenges, and rock-hard dedication it takes to make dreams come true. This book sounds amazing, and I can't wait to read it. Lastly, I have Dune, The Butler in Jarhead by Brian Herbert and Kevin J. Anderson. This is the asylum prequel to novels that made science fiction history. So, as you guys know, I'm not a huge science fiction fan. But I want to read this because I do like Kevin Anderson's writing. I think he's a really good writer. And I want to know some good science fiction. This is supposed to be one of the best, so hopefully I will like it. And if I don't, then I guess I won't continue reading it. But here's what it says. The Butler in Jihad. Throughout the Dune novels, Frank Herbert frequently referred to the long ago war in which humans wrestled their freedom from thinking machines. Now in Dune, The Butler in Jihad, Brian Herbert and Kevin J. Anderson bring to life the story of that war. A tale previously bring to life the story of that war. A tale previously seen only in tantalizing hints and clues. Finally, we see how Serena Butler's passionate grief ignites the war that will liberate humans from their machine masters. We learn their circumstances of the betrayal that made mortal enemies of House Atreides and House of Harkon, and we experienced the Battle of Khorne that created a galactic empire lasting to the reign of Emperor Shaddam IV the Fourth. Herein are the foundations of being Gurset, Sisterhood of the Silk Doctors, the Order of Mean Hats, and the mysteriously altered navigators of the Spacing Guild. Here is the amazing tale of the Susani Wanderers who escape bondage to fleets of the desert world. They will declare themselves to the free men of Dune. And here is the backward, nearly forgotten planet of Arcus, where traders had discouraged their remarkable properties of the Space Millennium. 10,000 years before the events of Dune, humans have managed to battle their remorseless machines to stand still, but victory may be short-lived. Yet amid short-sighted squabbling between nobles, new leaders have begun to emerge. Among them are Xavier Harkonnen, military leader of the planet of Sasa Saradus. Xavier's fiancée, Serena Butler, an activist who will become the unwilling leader of millions, and Tio Holtzman, a scientist struggling to devise a weapon that will help the human cause. Against the beauty efficiency of their adversaries, their leaders in human race have only imagination, compassion, and their capacity for love. It will have to be enough. So this book sounds very interesting. I can't wait to read it. I hope you guys like this video. Please let me know in the comments down below what you plan to read in the month of November. If you have, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. And I'll see you guys next time with another video. Goodbye.